In the context of the ongoing escalation of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, even small victories in the northern Lipsy forest hold great significance for Ukraine's territorial defense and reclamation. This marks an important step for the Ukrainian military in repelling Russian forces and regaining territory. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to strengthen its positions and open up opportunities for new offensive operations, hoping to reclaim all occupied areas and safeguard its national sovereignty.
In the northern Lipsy area of Kharkiv, Ukraine's long-term military campaign has achieved significant successes in repelling Russian forces from strategic regions. This operation has not only contributed to the liberation of hundreds of hectares of land, but has also inflicted severe damage on the Russian military, weakening their offensive capabilities in the area. The northern Lipsy forest is a strategically important region that has witnessed intense fighting since Russia launched its military operations in Ukraine. This area holds great strategic value, not only due to its geographic location, but also because of its role in defense and access to vital routes in Kharkiv. Controlling this area helps Ukraine secure the northern gateway to Kharkiv, preventing the risk of further Russian occupation in eastern Ukraine. Since the conflict erupted, Russia has intensified its attacks on this area to seize control of access routes and create a foothold for deeper incursions into populated areas of Kharkiv. However, throughout this time, Ukraine has made efforts to defend and launched counter-offensive operations to regain control of these strategic lands. A key factor contributing to the campaign's success has been the close coordination among Ukraine's defense forces. The 13th Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, NSU, Chartia, along with units from the Military Intelligence Directorate, GUR, and other forces, implemented a long-term plan to liberate the northern Lipsy forest. The collaboration between these elite units created a cohesive network of attack and defense, enabling them to penetrate occupied areas and push back Russian troops. Since the campaign began, the 13th Brigade has made steady progress. Thanks to effective coordination between the defense forces and GUR, they have liberated 400 hectares of Ukrainian territory from Russian control. This success is not only about reclaiming land, but also about pushing Russian forces back from strategic positions in the Lipsy forest, allowing Ukrainian troops to advance several kilometers northward. The campaign has inflicted heavy personnel and material losses on Russian forces. To date, Ukrainian forces have reportedly destroyed a total of 233 Russian soldiers, wounded over 300, and captured 10 occupying troops. These figures illustrate the effectiveness of Ukrainian combat units in overpowering the enemy on the battlefield, despite facing modern military equipment and weaponry from Russia. In addition to personnel losses, the Ukrainian military has destroyed a substantial number of Russian vehicles and fortifications. Over 50 units of armored vehicles and logistical equipment have been destroyed, while more than 400 Russian fortifications and defensive positions have been dismantled or severely damaged. This not only significantly diminishes the combat capability of Russian forces, but also complicates their efforts to maintain strategic positions in the region. The operation in the northern Lipsy forest is not just a single battle, but part of a broader series of counter-offensive actions by Ukraine to reclaim occupied areas. The liberation of 400 hectares and the retreat of Russian forces by several kilometers not only strengthens Ukraine's defensive posture in Kharkiv, but also opens opportunities for further advances into other areas under Russian control. The success of this campaign has created a safer corridor for subsequent military operations by Ukraine, while exerting significant pressure on Russian forces. With repeated setbacks from strategic positions in northern Kharkiv, Russian troops are compelled to relocate and redeploy to counter Ukraine's powerful counteroffensives. Moreover, the destruction and neutralization of a significant number of Russian vehicles and fortifications have weakened their defensive and counteroffensive capabilities in the area. The heavy losses of equipment, including armored vehicles and fortified positions, hinder the Russian military's ability to sustain large-scale assaults as before. The operation in the northern Liptsy forest exemplifies the resilience and effective fighting capability of Ukrainian forces. Although Russia continues to hold advantages in numbers and equipment, Ukraine has demonstrated that close coordination among military units, combined with flexible tactics, can yield significant successes on the battlefield. The future of the conflict in the Kharkiv area remains challenging, but with the current momentum, Ukrainian forces are likely to continue pushing Russian troops out of critical strategic areas. Successes like that in the Liptsy forest not only bolster the fighting spirit of Ukraine, but also pave the way for future offensive operations,